All right, let's draw Raphael. Clip Studio Paint on the Surface Pro 4. We are drawing Raphael. Clip Studio Paint, Surface Pro 4. I'm just gonna do a bust here. Pretty simple. I want to do this fast. First layer is just like a basic pencil sketch of it. I want to lay down my shapes, and then I'll ink it quickly after that. Whoop, that's not a pencil. I'm going to do the analog pencil. There we go. Let's do like a nice pissed off, bloodied Raphael. I don't really have I don't have it in my head right now what I want it to look like, so I'm gonna kind of make it up on the spot. I like it when turtles have just the white in their eyes. No people's here. I was using this. I just did a live stream of one of my comic pages, so all my settings are set to that. Some kind of adjusting the fly here. Ooh. Let's get rid of that. I'm not sure if I'm happy with how everything's coming out yet. I never really am though. If you're listening to my live streams, I don't think I'm ever really happy with it. Nope, not liking it at all. Start over. I thought it was beyond saving. Let's do more forward facing. So my intention with these, hopefully, as you watch this and listen, that you're drawing along with me. I think that's kind of what I want is that we're just kind of drawing together in a way. So again, I'm using Clip Studio Paint on my Surface Pro 4, which has a nice crack across almost the middle of the screen and a corner that is completely messed up. Drawing Raphael, I want to make him pretty big. So I tend to draw huge, and I've fallen into that trap again. So I got to make this a little bit smaller. But I guess that's a good thing with digital is you can draw as big as you want and then shrink it. And I definitely make use of that. That's something I constantly struggle with. Got a nice big neck. We're just going to do a bust. I'm doing like a big Raph. Get that shell going. I haven't seen the second movie yet, the second live action. The first one was just god awful. So I'm in no rush to see the second one. Maybe I should though. Raphael's got to have the messed up bandana, right? Give him a nice big shell. It's there, believe me. All right. I think it's good enough for the first layer. We'll do a second layer on top of that and switch to black with a pen. Let's flip this and see what it looks like. Oh God, it looks awful. It's crazy when you shrink it, or not. I'm sorry, shrink it. Flip it. How different it looks. So I'll make a couple adjustments here real quick. Oh God. Icky. Ooh, it looks awful. I shouldn't have flipped it. I want one eye to be more open. Maybe the other one's just like shut. Let's do like that. That looks all right. And let's flip it. Wow, what a difference. Yeah, I shouldn't have flipped that. All right. Let's go to the ink layer. Get cracking on this. It's a huge size. We don't need that. Let's go 25. I don't really do inking anymore. I do like this pencil style. So this is a bit different. And I'm using the G pen. No reason, just, well, I guess I like it, but it was just already selected. So whatever. Yeah, if you follow me on like YouTube, fucking YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I don't really use this style anymore. I'm trying to go kind of fast. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Just kind of for shits and giggles. So with the G pen, it's got a nice. If you look at it, it's got it can. What do you call that? I don't know what the fuck you call that. Get bigger and smaller. Pretty nicely. So just with more weight, more pressure from the pen, it'll get bigger, and when you ease up, it gets smaller. I guess it's pretty standard with this kind of stuff, but I like the G pen for that reason. We'll give him that Kraken shell that he has in the new animated series. Lots of scratches. So the Surface Pro is running pretty well. I'm drawing. It's a pretty small file I'm using, but I'm recording also, and so I do feel it heating up. And the vent is going, or the fan. I mean, sorry, the fan. The fan is going, but it feels great drawing right now. No lag or issues. I mean, I did that pretty damn well. Just those little marks right there. Oh God. Sorry, live stream camera just crashed. Some sound effects for the live stream camera. All right, I'm going to do some scratches. I don't like the scratches in his shell. I'm gonna get rid of those. I'll use a different pen. Let's go with the pencil, analog pencil, which I just used for the blue layer. But now we're going to use it for the ink layer. Do a smaller brush size, size 8. Tighten it up. I could also do these marks with shadow and highlight. But this is kind of like a different style that I'm using, so I'm going to ink these in as well. That's good. Let's go back to the G pen. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm not adding much like muscle tone or definition really at all. I'm doing pretty fast, bold shapes. Let's get rid of this pencil layer, see how it looks. Kind of cool. Flip it. Yeah, the integrity is still there. I can live with that. Flip it back. All right, let's get cracking on a color layer. So I will just clear the pencil layer. Let's pick out a green for Raph. Go with this for now. Can always change it. So I'm doing one layer for his skin. I'm just going crazy. It just makes no difference right now. The way I'm doing the layers, so I'm gonna do a layer for everything else separately. So like the layer for the chest shell is gonna be over this. So it makes no difference if it overlaps. That can't be. I have to fix that. All right, let's go. Let's add a layer above skin, and we will do his shell. I kind of like this color. It's like a tannish color. Let's use that. See how it comes out. Again, super easy to fix if I don't like it later on. I'm going to be more careful coloring this, and I want to stay within the lines for the most part. Erase, erase. Cool. Zoom back out. Let's go to, let's do a darker color for the shell. And we're going to go below the skin layer. That way I can just overlap like this. It's like an ugly green. I'll stick with that. Usually I do brown, but I'm going to go with this muddy green. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. See, I finally figured out, it's way easier than I thought. When I finally figured out how to YouTube directly through, I'm sorry, how to live stream directly through YouTube. After they changed it like months ago. And it was super easy. So I'm doing that. Hey, we got one viewer. What's going on, viewer? Oops, flipped it upside down. Oh shit, my son might be waking up. The stream may come to a end very soon. All right, let's do the bandana. We're doing one layer above the, what is that? Let's go, just leave it above the skin. Be careful, stay in the lines. And it's a bright red. I'm going to change that. I just kind of went with it just to keep rolling. If you're viewing this now or checking it out later, please leave a comment. I want to know who's watching my stuff on YouTube. I have a good following on Instagram, and I know who those people are that leave comments and likes and stuff. I had some conversations with a bunch of you, but on YouTube, I don't really know who you are. I hit over 1,000 followers recently, and I have no idea who any of you are. So yeah, it'd be cool if you left a comment or something. Make sure you like the video if you like it. All right, we got our bandana colored. I'm going to go a little bit darker. And then just do the paint bucket directly over it. Yeah, there we go. And then go back to the skin layer. I want that eyeball to be white. And I'm going to keep it on the same layer as the skin. There we go. The other eye is shut. Hopefully that comes across. All right, now we got our basic flat. No, we don't have our flats done. We got to do a white teeth. I'm going to keep that. I'll just keep it on the skin layer. Oops. Touch up my where I went over the lines. And then I want to do a tongue. I don't like that red for the tongue. I'm going to go with I don't know, let's try this one. Yeah, that's it. It's good. Looks good. All right, cool. So we got our flats. The flats are done. Let's add a layer on top of the skin. Clip it to below. And this will be our shadow layer. This is just basic shadowing here. Whoops. Let's keep it kind of dark. Let's do 60% for the opacity on this layer. Just adding in shadows. And you're going to do that really wherever you want to add shape. And pop, like a visual pop, underneath muscles, stuff like that. That works. I'm going to add a shadow underneath his mask to make it look like the mask is on top of his skin. Chin shadow. So I'm going to use a shadow here to make it, to give it that like turtle-y kind of look, as the snout comes out, the snout thing, without having to actually draw it. Just a couple shadow lines gives that impression well enough. And then I'm going to do a shadow over. This is still all in the same layer, the skin layer. Well, a layer over the skin layer, I'm sorry. And then shadow underneath the eyeball till they make it look like the eyebrows casting a shadow. And just for the heck of it, I like to put a shadow right here, just because I think it looks cool. And then I'm going to do a couple like action lines coming off of it. I call them action lines, but it just adds a little something, a little intensity. And then I'm going to erase into it the same kind of effect, but the eraser is too big. Let's do it again. That. Just a, wow, it's way too big. Just a couple of them. Give some kind of impression of like the skin having some texture to it. Do it over here too. Just kind of randomly. Okay. What else here? That's good. Let's do the same. I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna duplicate the shadow layer. Move the duplicated one above the bandana. It already clips. I'm gonna clear it and start coloring shadows in the bandana. So for here, you can kind of go crazy. Bandana is, pretty worn, so it should have a lot of wrinkles and whatnot. Good enough. Let's do it again. Keep moving quickly here. Actually, I'm gonna carve back into it. So a couple of these shadows, I'm gonna use my eraser and just do some lines through it to make it, just give it a little more texture. Simple but effective. All right. Yeah, that'll work. I don't want to overdo it. So let's duplicate that layer and then move it above the shell right here, the torso shell. Put a shadow in between where they touch to give it some depth, just a little bit. Then we're gonna do some like random pockmark kind of things, just like I did before. I'm also gonna, so I'm gonna do a line and then use the eraser and like kind of carve into it. Okay. All right, we got one more. We got the back shell. Let's duplicate that shadow layer again. Drag it down above the back shell. Fuck. And that's how you break a Surface Pro 4. All right. We'll break it more. Back shell. All right, now we just do the shadow over there. So the light source is just kind of like above, somewhere-ish. I'm not terribly worried about it, honestly. All right, so got the shadows at the bottom. And then same thing, let's do a small brush size and just kind of go up, give it some texture. Make some random ones too. I don't want it too thick. Just to kind of show some wear and tear, some scratches that you would have, some dings. I mean, just those simple little marks give that impression without having to do too much. Okay. Looking all right. We're gonna do a brand new layer. I'm gonna add some battle damage, some blood to them. So this is a layer on top of everything else. So except for the, it probably should go above the black line too. So I'm gonna add some blood. Oops. Okay, so you can see it goes above everything. This is the top, tippy top layer. We could do it layer by layer, but I don't want to do it that way. I'm gonna have to add shadows to this layer. Otherwise, it won't look right. So when doing blood or any like liquid, I guess you're gonna want to remember how it moves. It adapts with whatever it's on. So it's gonna flow over things. It's gonna get tucked in underneath the jaw, stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna do a layer on top of it, clip it to below, and start adding some shadow. Oh, it's got to be the same percentage, 60%. It kind of too closely matches the bandana, so I gotta play with that a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go back to the bandana layer. It just too closely matches the blood. So it's pretty damn dark. Yeah, it works, but I don't like it. More of a pale red, or yeah, that's pretty damn pale, but not red enough. Might be too pink. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, so now I got a nice bright blood on top of everything, which I think looks pretty cool. We got to keep adding some shadows to the blood. Oops. Could also just darken the blood up, but I don't want to. Yeah, actually, you probably should. The blood seems a little bright. Yeah, that toned it down a little bit. All right, let's finish up the shadows and the blood. It's pretty simple. I'm not going like way too in depth here. So that's the shadows on the blood. Cool. Now we got to do. Oops. Let's duplicate that shadow layer. Clear it, and then we'll do some highlights on top of the blood. Pretty simple, right? But it kind of gives the impression of blood there, just enough. So I just used the pen tool over the pen tool for the blood. For the shell, I'm going to use something different. Let's go to the chest shell, duplicate the shadow layer, clear it. Still on white. I'm going to use the, we'll just stick with white. Let's just keep it pretty basic. Let's go to pencil, color pencil. Let's make this big. So the top here, I want it to have a light source touching the top. But I'm using the color pencil, so it gives a different texture to it. I'm gonna kind of randomly sprinkle it in across the shell also. Now I'm gonna go with let's do the analog pencil and throw some highlight scratches in there as well. You see how they pop out. The analog pencil's lines are obviously it's a lot sharper than the color pencil I use, which was I use a large brush, or a large pencil size, so it should stand out pretty well. All right, let's go to the back shell. Sorry, my hand keeps getting in the way there. The back shell, let's duplicate the layer, clear it. Let's go back to the color pencil, lay it on top. I'm actually gonna, for my strokes, I'm gonna make them go down, not side to side. Because on his back, I want the eye to be carried down. So if you treat the pencil that way, then that's what the viewer will experience as well. So we got some subtle highlights on the back shell. Let's go back to the analog pencil, do the same thing. Throw in some little lines. Just randomly. It just shows scratches and pock marks and stuff. All right. Now the skin. For the skin, let's try the aerosol can, with the shadow. The shadow airbrush. So skin layer, duplicate the shadow layer, clear it, and let's use a pretty big airbrush. 200. So the airbrush gives us a smoother highlight on his skin. I guess it should be kind of smooth. I think if I was spending more time on this, I might make it a little more scaly or something. All right. So that's his skin. Just the basic idea. Oh, and then up here. Oops. Let's do the same thing. We'll take the eraser. Let's see the eraser. Just kind of randomly carve into it. Not too shabby. All right, let's take it one step further and add a little brighter highlight spots. Oh, fuck, I forgot the bandana. Same thing, bandana. Duplicate the shadow layer, clear it, and then we'll use go with the color pencil again. Just for some spots. and then go with the analog pencil, add in some tighter white spots. That's all right. All right, so let's take it a step further and do brighter whites. You know what? Let's see here. Sorry. So I'm going pretty quick. What's happening is that the shadows are being my highlights are actually going over the shadow. So one resolution is to erase some of the highlights. The other resolution could be that the shadow layer just goes on top of the highlights. Yeah, it's actually a good idea. Like we can't lose that depth. Now we got more depth. We also have the highlights too. All right, so let's go to the back shell. We're gonna create a layer, clip it to below. Let's do it at like 75%. And color pencil again. And we're just gonna go over what we did before. That way it adds a brighter white spot to add a little more highlight contrast. And same thing with, let's see, skin. Duplicate. Actually, don't see. Just add a new layer at 75%. I'm going to use the pen tool this time on top of the airbrush. Yeah, that's pretty damn bright. Nope, that doesn't look good. That looks all right. That's a little too bright for me on the skin. Let's bring it down to the 50. That's all right. Okay, next layer we're gonna mess with is the bandana. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. It doesn't need to be any brighter. There's no need for brighter highlights on top of the cloth. And my son just woke up, which means the live stream is over. It's pretty much done anyways. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will be doing this again. I figured out how to live stream. I figured out how to record on my Surface Pro 4. So I'll be doing this again in the future. Of course, it looks like it was not recording at all. Fucking Christ. So at least you got to see it in the live stream. That's what it looks like. Peace. Bye.